Hello friends, it's Dave here from SaveDex and welcome to our 5th instalment of the SaveDex podcast. Today we've got Sophie here. Hello Sophie.
Hello.
And what's the main topic of today's conversation?
The main topic is Xbox Game Pass.
Yes, so we've been playing quite a bit of games on Game Pass lately. We've noticed we've been streaming some of them as well. And we wanted to really talk about our whole experience with it as a whole. But before we get onto that main topic, we're going to go through a few games we've been playing outside of Game Pass, our reactions to a few recent news stories in the gaming world. Then afterwards we'll go on to some viewer questions. So let's get started. So what games have we been playing on the Switch that we're going to highlight here?
Okay, so we've been playing, we have played Gibbon Beyond the Trees.
Yes, that was a stream we did. We were kindly provided with a code for that game. What did you think of that one, Sophie?
I thought it was very visually appealing. And although a short game, it was a nice one to control. It's sort of like a auto-scroller where you're swinging from tree to tree and you've got a storyline where you're in danger, basically.
Yeah, it's giving like a message about what's happening with gibbons.
Yeah, and you know, at the end there is a message that says, you know, this is what's happening. And
there's like a link to a website.
And on our stream, if you're interested, we've popped the link in the stream. So
you can find out more about the cause.
Absolutely.
It's really good. And yeah, it was very satisfying to the swinging mechanics. As you said, it was auto-running, but you controlled when you jumped off the swing and you get into a rhythm of it and it felt really, really good. And although the main story was like just over an hour, there was sort of like a roguelike style mode you've unlocked afterwards where you had to sort of rescue other animals. So yeah, that one was a fun one to play. But what about one that I don't think you found as fun to play but you still put a lot of time into?
A lot of time. So Bit Orchard Animal Valley.
Yes, what is that?
I can't really describe it.
It looked like a Game Boy Animal Crossing.
It did.
Or Stardew Valley.
It took me, I think anyway, because there's no other objectives. It took me like an hour to complete the objectives.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But what was that one you were trying to do that took ages?
Oh, befriend the bunny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you had to do it like 30 days in a row or something.
Yeah, also like 15 times. But I had to look that up because I was like, I still haven't befriended the bunny and I've like petted it on the head. And you have to chase it as well. And if you chase it too much, it like hides.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I suppose there's the, challenge there. But yeah, it wasn't really for me that. Which, is funny because I love I love Animal Crossing, but I love Stardew Valley as well. And that sort of gave me the vibe of it.
Yeah, but was it too basic?
Yeah. Very, very basic.
Oh, cool. So, another game that I think you liked more than Bit Orchard Animal Valley.
Yes, Fishing Paradiso? Fishing Paradiso.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. I love fishing in games. You know this.
Yes.
To be true.
How do the fishing mechanics rank?
I'm going to say below Stardew Valley, above-ish, maybe on par with Animal Crossing.
Okay.
Because you still at least have to like gauge where you're, going.
What about that fishing game we did on the Wii?
Oh, that is really high up. That's next to not Animal Crossing, Stardew Valley.
Okay. So one annoying thing about this game I'll point out is because you started playing it before we streamed it, and then because you wanted to stream it from the beginning, you went onto a different profile on your Switch, and then that's the file that you carried on playing. So we don't really have a log of how long you've been playing this game because of that.
A long time.
Yeah, but it must be over 10 hours.
It's a really long time. I've put a lot into it, and like I think the story's short because it's an RPG, so you're constantly leveling up your equipment and stuff. There's a lot of after game stuff, a lot of it actually.
Yeah. Did it get grindy?
Yeah, a little bit, and it is to some extent getting grindy again. And obviously, when you help the people, there's like a level up when you're helping the people around you. So like fishing for them, and after a while, you're getting harder fish to catch. So you're having to really level up your fishing gear, and doing that you need to help the people to get the money to level it up. So it's kind of hard, but I really enjoy it.
Is it satisfying to fill out the book?
Yes, 100%. Like I think I've completed 4 of the people now, and then there's quite a lot more to go.
In the fish encyclopedia thing on there.
Yes.
I've obviously not been watching you play the whole thing, but are they all like real fish, or are there any like?
No, they've got fake names, and there's some like like ones.
Like, is there stuff
especially
like
in
mermaids
hell
and stuff?
No, there's like a fire hydra and stuff like that.
Okay.
And like from hell, or like the celestial ones, and they're all made up.
Yeah, because the storyline is you're in the afterlife.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah. And you're fishing basically.
Yeah, which would be heaven for you.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so moving on. So here's one that we've both played. This one. That's the Wonder Boy collection.
Yes, I think I played one of them.
You played Wonder Boy in Monster World.
I really enjoyed that, I must say.
Like the thing about this is, I'm a huge fan of Wonder Boy 3, The Dragon's Trap, which got a remake on the Switch in the first year of the Switch. And this Wonder Boy collection came out, and I've played Wonder Boy 4's remake, or Monster World 4's remake on the Switch, because I reviewed that as well. And it's included in this one, but I wasn't really interested in this collection. But then Glenn from Switch Up asked me to review it for them, so I did. And it's my review's on their channel, so check that if you want to see what I thought of it overall. But it's kind of like there's 4 games on there. Wonder Boy 3 is missing, which is annoying because that's my favourite one. And as a collection, though, I mean, the games, as far as I can tell, are present and correct. They play well, they're emulated well. But it's just when you're looking at the menus and stuff, there's not really much going on in it. There's not really much in the way of extras other than like a gallery. And it gives you like the save state features, the rewinds, all that stuff you'd expect. But other than that, there's not really much of a celebration here.
It would have been nice to have like something, I don't know, like a collectible or something.
I mean, I'll get into it soon, but Sonic Origins is coming out in a couple of weeks as we record this. And that looks like it's got a lot more in the way of extras than this one. So it's a shame they didn't do something similar for Wonder Boy. And the annoying thing is, there is a version of this collection that has both versions of Wonder Boy 3 in it. I think there was a out arcade one and a Game Gear one or something like that. But it's only on a limited run physical edition.
Oh, really?
And it also includes like the American and European and Japanese versions of each game. There's technically like an extra 17 games in this limited run physical release. So they're sort of hiding that away from the masses there. So it's weird that they did that, but the games themselves are good.
Maybe they thought it wouldn't sell as well, so that's why it was limited.
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows?
Okay, so you got 2 more games to talk about. First one we go with Mario Strikers. That came out.
Yes, indeed.
I was excited because
you were indeed.
Yeah, I like Mario Strikers on the Wii, and it's been so long since we got one. This one I know has been met with some criticisms, but I'll get into that. And it is a shame that Nintendo's sports games now are releasing with not much content, and they do the free updates as they go. And people are, in reviews and all that, are criticising the fact that it feels quite bare bones, which is true. But it's one of them where wait a year and it probably won't be bare bones, but we don't know yet. But the same things were said about, say, the Splatoon games and Mario Tennis, Mario Golf. But if you were to buy those games now, you wouldn't have that bare bones criticism because there is a lot of content in those games now. So it is a weird thing. But my problem is I just miss the days where you would unlock things through gameplay.
Yeah.
Whereas here you can collect coins to buy the gear, but I want to be unlocking characters, not just be given them for free later on.
Yeah.
But the game itself is fantastic. It's just fun, arcadey. Mario Strikers is what you'd expect from it.
I think the only thing I would say is that with the that you buy the things that you collect to help you or dress up your character. I wish there was a bit more variety in them.
Yeah, it's like there's 5 bits of gear for each body part.
Yeah,
and everyone's got the same.
Yeah,
yeah, it's not. Yeah,
I wish. I mean, I get it. They can't really make it too. Otherwise, it'll be too much. But you know, like in Crash Team Racing remake.
Yeah, the skins. Yeah.
That was more exciting.
Like, you had the polar bear character, but you could make him into a panda or a red panda.
Exactly.
So it felt like a completely different character.
Yeah.
Like,
There's so much customization there, and it's nice.
Yeah. But maybe there will be extra gear added in these updates.
Possibly.
We don't know yet. But on that, though, there's been a rumour here, really in the credits for the game, the person that does the voice of Shy Guy is credited. And
like
Shy Guy, although Shy Guy's in the crowds, there's no audio for Shy Guy in the game.
Is it Spear Guy, though?
I don't know. That could have been an alternate costume, couldn't it? Like, so it's looking like Shy Guy will be one of the DLC fighters and footballers. And then Daisy is an obvious one. But other than that, I'd like them to go a bit crazy with these, you know, have the usual ones you expect, like Koopa Trooper and Boo and that, but have something like kind of like how they put Chain Chomp in the Mario Tennis one.
Or P.T. Piranha.
Yeah, P.T. Piranha was in the Strikers on the Wii, so you know, have the obvious ones, Bowser Jr., all that, but have a few oddball choices. I said ball. It's a pun. Okay, so the final Switch game we want to talk about, because this was one of that you discovered. Yeah,
so I was on the eShop and I saw that it was one of the games that had just been released. And so I looked it up because it said that straps were available or something like that.
Yeah.
So I got the physical with the straps included, and it's Let's Get Fit.
Yeah. You saying that it's available on the eShop surprises me, actually, because how do you play this game without straps?
There is an option to turn off the,
so you have one in each hand?
No, not even that, I don't think.
Oh, so you just do the exercises without recording it.
To be fair, I think for some of them, because some of them go really fast, and you can't keep up, I think that would be fine for some of them. Yeah,
so let's what is this game then?
So it's just like a fitness game, and like I've played a lot of Ring Fit, so have you.
Yeah, and whereas Ring Fit has, obviously it has the exercises you can do with that ring, and it's quite tough, isn't it, pushing it in? Yeah. Its main focus is that RPG mode. Yeah. And there's mini games as well. This one doesn't have any mini games. It's just the exercises.
It does, and it has some areas that you can focus on, and there's also reps, which I think's. Sets, which I think's really important. Where I thought that was sort of lacking in. Ring Fit Adventure.
Yeah, and also that's a good thing, you used the word focus, didn't you? Like the fact that there are no mini games or story mode or anything means it focuses on just the exercises, and that's where, and it's a really good fitness game.
It is. We get super sweaty, like insanely sweaty.
And it's like, I know I didn't play Ring Fit that much, but obviously I played Wii Fit back in the day, and I didn't often get sweaty from that, but because I would mostly do the balance games on there.
Yeah, that's the thing, and a lot of the games with Ring Fit are balance or strength, which, you know, you do get a little bit sweaty, but you're not using your... You know, you're not doing your cardio.
Whole body.
Yeah.
And this one, you have a set workout, so you can create a custom workout. And we're currently... So we're both sort of motivating each other to play it every evening now. And we selected these like 30-day workouts, which we've done 5 or 6 days now.
5 days. Today will be 6 days.
Yeah. So, and then there's also the 3-minute plank challenge we're both trying. So what that does is... over 30 days it builds you up to doing a plank for 3 minutes. So the first day it's 64 seconds, then they add 4 seconds each day you achieve that. I'm currently on 76, I think.
Holy cow.
And you managed to do 64.
Yeah, I did the first day finally.
And because if you succeed, well, whether you actually succeed, not if the game thinks you've succeeded it, then it'll up it.
Yeah.
But if we're doing a thing where if we do collapse while trying it, because like I only managed 45 seconds yesterday, we will quit out of it, so it says we haven't done it that day. That way it keeps that time for the next day, so we keep trying until we can do that 76 seconds. But I am finding that for the most part, obviously you've got one on your right arm and one on your left leg, the Joy-Con straps.
Yeah.
There are some times it records like how well you did the exercise based on your timing mainly. And sometimes I'm doing it the exact same time as the trainer on the screen, but it's saying I failed. It is a
little bit off, I think.
Yeah, it's it's not always responsive.
But again, it's still, you're doing the exercises and you're doing the sets.
At least we know we've done the exercise.
The only thing it would affect is your score. So
yeah, it gives you a workout score, just something for you to
And there's like stats and leaderboards, so you can look at like your position on the world leaderboard. And
some people must be really belt
ridiculous,
heavy.
I know.
Like it's been out a month, I think, this game.
And it's like they're already on like 200,000.
Yeah, like they must have been playing this, like exercising a lot. So yeah. So that's Let's Get Fit, and we do recommend that game. It was like 35 quid, was it? Physical.
Yes, but with the straps probably like 37.
Yeah. So yeah,
but I think it's on sale on the eShop. So, and if you don't want to use the straps and you just want to do the sets, I think it's not a bad game.
Yeah, and also we one thing is that we do we own a yoga mat. Yes. We highly recommend you have one of those. Oh my god! Especially.
Otherwise, your knees.
Yeah.
Awful. And also doing the plank. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And also, if you're going to do that and you have a cat,
do not leave it out.
Yeah,
at
do
night.
not leave the yoga mat out at night. We made that mistake, and now there's a few holes in that yoga mat.
Yep. Thank you, Mr. Cat.
Yes, Mr. Cat is currently looking quite proud of himself.
Yeah. He sharpened his nails on it. How did he sharpen his nails on it?
I don't know.
It's so soft.
Yeah, so that's Let's Get Fit. So those are like the Switch games we've been playing. So let's go on to what's been in the news these last week and a bit. So there's only a couple of things I want to highlight really. So as we record this, we're recording this on Sunday the 12th of June. And this is normally the week where E3 would be happening, but that's obviously not happened.
Mm-hmm.
But there's been a few things going on. I think Xbox is having a presentation that's been confirmed. There's been rumours that Nintendo are going to do a Direct on Wednesday. There's been like evidence people have found on that. And PlayStation did a State of Play a little while ago, which had quite a few announcements, quite a few trailers. My highlight from that is they actually revealed what the Resident Evil 4 remake looks like, and I'm really excited for that. So I really love Resident Evil 4. I am going to do a video predicting what Nintendo E3, non-E3 would be. But what would you like to see from Nintendo?
I want to see a bit more of Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah, I think we'll see something of it there.
Hopefully.
Yeah. But so because that got delayed again, didn't it?
Yeah.
No, sorry, I keep making this. It didn't get delayed again. It's been delayed for the first time.
Really?
Yeah, because 2022 was the only time they gave a set release window.
Oh yeah.
And now they've delayed it to next year, so that's only one delay it's had. Okay, so. Yeah, so the other thing about Microsoft having a thing is, and I'm going to be dating this podcast very quickly here, is the rumour that they might reveal the GoldenEye remake.
Yes.
Which I'm really excited for, because there's been so much like rumours and evidence that it exists. One recent one is someone who worked for Rare, their achievement list has achievements from the GoldenEye remake on, so they've obviously been playing it.
Oh my gosh.
So that's one thing. And like I said, I streamed GoldenEye a few weeks ago. It still holds up as far as I'm concerned, but obviously I have the bias and nostalgia for it. But I've said to people, there's two things. If a younger person or someone who never played it back then was to pick it up now and play it, there are two things that would put them off. Two things that haven't aged well. Those are the graphics and performance, and also the controls, which are major things, to put me off. But a remake of it, a port of it, like they did with Perfect Dark, would fix those two issues.
Yeah.
They'd make it HD, they'd make it run smoothly, it would have dual analog controls or possibly gyro. So if they could release it the way they re-released Perfect Dark, there would be no problem with it. So yeah, I'm excited for that. I would like it to come to both Xbox and Switch.
Yeah.
I think that they would sell it rather than put it on Game Pass, because there's a lot of licensing issues with GoldenEye, a lot of different parties involved. and obviously likenesses for actors and things like that.
Yeah.
So I think they would, and if they do release it on both, then I am going to buy it on both.
Fair enough.
Seriously. It's one of my favourite games of all time. So yeah, so that's kind of what I'm thinking of these, because obviously nothing's been announced yet, although they did do a Wholesome Direct.
Did they?
Yeah, because they did Summer Games Fest. I've had a quick browse, so...
I'll be looking at that later.
Yes, definitely. But one of them is that little gator game.
Oh, really?
Well, that was shown off there as well, so that one looks cute. Okay, so they did a Sonic Central.
Mm-hmm.
Again, like they did one sort of around E3 time last year. This time they didn't really reveal anything.
No.
They were like, oh, let's take a sneak peek at this Sonic Prime on Netflix.
I remember you saying, because you did your meme on YouTube.
I did Jeff Goldblum quote going, so you're planning to have Sonic announcements in your Sonic announcement video? Hello? Like, so yeah, but the Sonic Prime reveal sneak peek, just like 5 seconds long, it just showed Shadow is in it.
Mm-hmm.
But there has been a recent clip on Twitter showing that Big the Cat is in it and Froggy.
No way.
Yeah. And Big's got a different voice to what he had in the older games.
What?
So, yeah, they've made him less annoying, but it's not our Big.
Not my Big.
Yeah, so Sonic Origins, I mentioned earlier, this looks to be a great collection. There's only 4 games on it, true, but the presentation of it, the fact that there's different ways to play the games, there's like a mirror mode, there's mission modes, there's cutscenes they've made for the games, there's just a lot of passion seems to have gone into this Sonic Origins, so that is really cool. And then they've been really not very well revealing footage of Sonic Frontiers.
Mm-hmm.
Very weird way of doing it, because they've just given the game to IGN and letting IGN upload gameplay of it, which means Sega aren't really controlling what gets shown about this game now. Obviously, and the footage of themselves doesn't look great, doesn't look like it plays well. I don't know whether that's because it's just people at IGN playing it and they're not to grips with it, although they have said it is an early build of the game.
Oh, sure.
So it's like, why are you showing that then if it's...
Yeah.
Like, because it's people aren't liking how it looks.
Yeah, they really shouldn't.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I suppose it gives you a little sneak peek, but...
Yeah, but if the sneak peek isn't
not
impressive,
great.
then...
First impressions, eh?
Okay. But, speaking of something that is looking great...
Yes.
We haven't had the chance to talk about this yet, but that is Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet got a new trailer.
It did indeed.
And this really showed off the world a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
So we have the 3 starters. We have, I keep forgetting what they're called. We have a Leaf Cat, Pepper Croc, and Elvis Duck.
No, Quaxley.
Quaxley, that's his name. And one's called Sprigatito.
Sprigatito's the cat.
Yes, I can't remember. Even though it's the one I'm choosing, I can't remember what the pepper thing's called.
Oh gosh, I have no idea. But Quaxley is great. I love Quaxley. I never choose water starter, but I might do because I love ducks.
Yeah.
Dave knows this to be true, and chickens, and all poultry.
His name is Fury Coco.
Fury Coco. That's such a cool name.
Yeah. So yeah, because I have flipped between. I don't really have a loyalty towards what Pokemon type. I mostly used to go for water, like Squirtle and the Piplup and Greninja. Mm-hmm. Froggy, whatever his name was. Froakie. But then with Gold, I went with Cyndaquil.
Yeah.
And Sword and Shield, I went with Scorbunny.
Nice.
And on this one, I want the Fire starter. But then I've recently been playing Pokemon Moon, and I chose Rowlet, who's the Grass starter.
Yes.
So I don't really have a loyalty towards. I just like whichever one looks the best. Yeah. I really like this. I thought it was a dinosaur, didn't I?
Yeah.
An apple dino.
Dino.
Yeah, but it's actually a pepper croc.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and but the one that really has gripped everyone is this pig. It's like a
Lechonk.
hog. Yeah, Lechonk, and he's a hog Pokemon.
Yes.
He's basically the Route 1 normal type. Mm-hmm. And he's kind of like this game's version of Wooloo or Bidoof.
Yeah.
And Boo became really popular. And I suppose the Gen 1 equivalent would be Rattata, who I know is everyone knows that character. It's popular enough, but I don't think he's anyone's favourite Pokemon in this way. But here's a guy. And speaking of Route 1 Pokemon, it looks like Talonflame's in this from the trailer.
Really?
Who is my favourite of the bird types that you get.
That's awesome.
And this also revealed that it is going to be proper open world, like no loading between towns and things like that.
Nice.
You can play this in... You don't have to follow the story. You can go any order, kind of like Breath of the Wild. And also, there seems to be a past versus future theme.
Yes, there is, because of the legendaries. I can't remember their names, but I really like the look of the red one. Scarlet, I guess.
Yeah, the past one. So the legendaries are called Koraidon and Miraidon.
Nice.
And sort of like those names, like the Korai and Mirai, are like the Japanese for past and future, apparently.
No way.
Just so I know. And also the two Pokemon professors, one of them is dressed in sort of like a cave woman, sort of under a lab coat, and the other one is dressed like with like Star Trek style clothes.
That's amazing.
And they're called Sada and Churro.
Which, like Pasada and
Futuro, which is obviously because it's based on Spain, this region.
Is it?
Yeah, and they're the Spanish words for past and future. It's really... And your brother Marcus was sort of saying, what's the third legendary going to be? Yeah. And I'm wondering, will there be one to represent the present as a thing? And I'm like, just have a dragon that's gift wrapped. Okay, there's the present there.
The present.
So and that's coming out on the 18th of November, and I think we might do something for the first time and actually buy both versions.
I know. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Because you like the Scarlet
I really
legendary.
like the Scarlet. It means that we can trade easier then.
Yeah, we can get all the... Yeah, that's true. Although the Wonder Trade does help with that.
That is true.
But assuming that's back.
We'll have to save our pennies, David.
Yes. So yeah, really looking forward to that one. Okay, so that's been what games we've been playing. That's been the news.
Yes, indeed.
At large. So now let's go on to our main topic, and that is we're going to talk about Game Pass. We've had Game Pass for like a year now, and I'll be honest, at first I was like, wow, there's a lot here, this is awesome. You pay £1 for the first 3 months, which is really good. But then I kind of fell out of it and stopped really playing games, because I had this whole thought of, I don't really own these games, and there's just too much choice.
Yeah.
And quite a lot of games I like. I had that Middle-earth Shadow of War, because I really like Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah.
And so I could play that just because it's available there. But at the time I didn't feel motivated to play it, because I was like, I don't own it though. Like I'll beat it, and then I just won't play it again, which I did with Shadow of Mordor. I loved it, but I didn't play it again.
No, it's fine.
So not buying it is a bonus here. But at the same time, it's like, it just doesn't feel like a completed game. But then, a few things have changed recently, because we've gotten out of reviewing games on the Switch, so we're less overwhelmed with games now. We've got more time to play Game Pass, and we've decided to stream Game Pass games, which we will get into a few soon. And we've actually got a name for that series now, which is suggested by Water Music, Game or Pass, just to try out what they are. And... yes, and also on the Xbox you have your achievement list. Right there is a record of what games you've beaten.
Yeah.
So there we go. And even to prove my point is, we were going through to make a list of games we're going to talk about that we've played on Game Pass here, and there are several that we forgot about because I've deleted them off my Xbox after we beat them. So, and then I've just I completely forgot that we had them. So there's one disadvantage there. So we've got them listed in alphabetical order here.
Yep.
So let's talk about Artful Escape.
Yes, so you're in this game, you're a descendant of a famous folk musician in your town, and you're going to be playing like a gig like in honour of him, and you're on the poster basically saying that you're the descendant of this famous folk musician, but actually you're more into like psychedelic opera. And so you basically get taken on this crazy journey where you play psychedelic opera.
Nice.
Like rock opera.
Yeah, so I've sort of been flitting in and out of you playing this, and honestly, there are some moments where it just feels like a dream.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Like it genuinely feels psychedelic at times, and there's like a Simon Says element to it, but it's mostly like
you're boss fighting,
an adventure, but not really an adventure. What's it called? An experience where you're just going through. But yeah, you're not boss fighting. You're sort of.
So I remember you had this, was it at a lake or something? There was like this big monster in the background.
Yes.
And like there were things on its body that matched the layout of the button presses you had to do.
Yeah.
That was really clever, I thought.
Yeah.
Like it.
So it's like Simon Says.
Yeah.
And some of them are really fast. So it's really, and like when you're not used to the Xbox controller. Oh my gosh.
One thing we keep doing, because the X and Y buttons on the Xbox compared to the Switches are swapped around, same with A and B. So quite a lot of games where it's telling you to press Y, I'm pressing X instead.
Yes.
But yeah, it was like, I remember there was this bit in the game where, I can't remember, you had your, it's just the way the music just grabs you in it. It's just kind of, again, it makes me feel like you're in the middle of a dream or something. Like, and then suddenly you were being interviewed on a talk show. Yeah. And it just felt like, what is this? Like, where are we? Like, what's going on? Like,
and you're choosing your persona that whole time and, like, your backstory. Because, you know, you're creating this whole new character, which is, like, kind of what he's wanting to do. He's wanting to come away from his, you know, I'm the descendant of the nephew. Sorry, the nephew of the famous musician. And he wants to come away from that. So he's creating this whole new rock opera psychedelic character who's, like, from space. And it's exciting.
Yeah.
It's really good.
This sort of game is also, and there's quite a few games I'll point out here, is where the pros of Game Pass or something like a subscription-based gaming comes in, because I don't know how much this game costs, but I can imagine it's in the teens somewhere for a game like, or maybe near around £10. And it's like the fact that, you know, with this subscription you can just play it, and it's probably one you just play once. And not again, so you've sort of saved money there.
Yes.
And you get, and even if it's just a curiosity game, you can experience it. And then, so we'll go into one that I think you'd have been happy to have paid for anyway.
Yes.
Because you've been wanting to play an Assassin's Creed game for quite a while.
And I'm glad, not to, you know, switch bash, but I'm glad I've got it on the Xbox.
Yes. And here's another reason to buy it, because as the Switch's life have gone on, and like even then when you were getting PS4, Xbox One games put on the Switch, they were lesser versions, obviously, and the advantage of it being handheld made up for that back then.
Yeah.
But now, obviously, you got later into, and developers got better with PS4, Xbox One games, and now we're on to PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. It's kind of like the difference between that and the Switch versions is more noticeable, and a lot of games are just not coming to Switch now because of that.
Yeah.
So obviously where the Switch excels is with the indie games and with Nintendo's own games and like retro collections and stuff. To play those handheld, that's where, like the upcoming Sonic Origins, I want that on the Switch, not on... Because I don't think that will make much difference between the two, Xbox or Switch, or the GoldenEye port as well. So having it handheld, it's worth any possible downgrades for that.
Definitely.
But with something like Assassin's Creed Origins, which very recently hit Game Pass, I mean, do you take the floor?
That's perfect. I love, like, you know, ancient Egypt, and it's basically like, it's like Just Cause but in Egypt, but like without the hook shot. And it's just exciting, and I love all the challenges, and like, you know, the skill tree is just oh my god, perfection.
Skill trees are good.
I love it so much. I just unlocked one where you can like tame animals to help you in battle, or not battle, but you know, to help you do takedowns and stuff. And I love it.
One thing I like about how you're doing this skill tree, because it's kind of like you start in the middle and it goes outwards in different directions. Because other skill trees I've seen like start at the top and you just go down, and but here it's sort of like a more rounder thing. But what you've been doing is maybe you have like 3 things you could upgrade, and when you're trying to choose which one to do, you're actually looking beyond those to see what they lead to. And when you saw that tame animals one, you're like, I've got to go for this one because I can do 100%. The tame animals next if I do that. Like
literally.
And Yeah, so Assassin's Creed. I mean, I've only played a few of the earlier ones, and I liked them, but I never kept up with the series. And I've been watching you play this one. I've been helping you out with a few bits.
Yeah, definitely.
As well.
There's one thing, I don't know if it's in the other games, but you've got the help of this bird, like this hawk, and it flies over and it like sights the targets for you, and it's perfection.
I can't remember if that was in Assassin's Creed 2 or 3. They're ones I've played. But I can imagine they've got a feature like that in the other games. I know Odyssey was, I think that's the Greek one.
Yeah.
I think that came out a year after Origins. So hopefully that'll come to Game Pass at some point. But it's again, I do sort of look at, when I'm in CEX or stuff, like look at them on PS4 thinking, should I get that one for you? But now that I know you like the series, maybe I will pick up a few.
I'd like that.
For PS4, because obviously you can't for Xbox because we've got the digital only.
No, yeah.
But worth a look, isn't it?
Definitely.
Okay, so another one here, Bug Snacks.
Yeah, so we didn't actually play this ourselves, but we watched Marcus, my little brother, play this, and he was engaged in this properly.
Yeah, so this started out as a PlayStation exclusive. It was revealed at the PlayStation 5 showcase, and I really liked to look at it. It was one of those games that made me want a PS5, even though it came to PS4 as well, I think. But then I saw it was coming to Switch, and I thought, oh great, I can get it on Switch, but it cost 20 quid or something. And then I saw it was coming to Game Pass day and date. And again, another reason, great to have Game Pass here. So even though I've not played it myself, I have watched it be played, and it does look really charming, really I like sort of like the different kinds of bugs that are combined with food. Like you have a spider that's got like fries for legs, he's a frider.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
I like that.
And there's sort of unique ways to set up traps and different ways you interact with the bugs.
Definitely.
And when people eat these bugs, their limbs transform.
Yeah, they like mutate themselves, but it's like a side effect, and they're very much aware of it, and it's hilarious.
Like how tasty must these things be?
Yeah, they must be so hungry to wanna do that.
Yeah. So again, that's another game where I'm like, I have Game Pass. It's £11 a month. Which at first I was like, £11 a month, because at the first I wasn't using it much. I was basically just playing Rare Replay, which you can buy for like 15 quid on its own.
Of course.
But then I'm like, actually, I have a Cineworld card, which is like £16-17 a month, and I barely use that. So Game Pass is more value than that when you think about it that way. And a game like Bug Snacks appears, something I've been having my eye on, and I can just play it without having to pay for it. That's a bonus, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so next one is a very recent game. I don't know if this was day and date on Game Pass last week or if it had previously released elsewhere, because it says 2022 as the year. It's called Disc Room.
Yes, I remember you playing.
So I do want to stream this at some point. Maybe play it for like an hour. So this is a top-down bullet hell game.
Yes.
Where you're in these different... The layout made me think of Binding of Isaac at first, where you have like these... It's kind of like a grid-based sort of labyrinth.
Yeah. Where
like you have room, and then doors. And then you have to survive... just dodge the discs that are going around for like 10 seconds. And there'll be like missions on each room on the side, which tells you like this door will open if you survive 10 seconds in this room. This door will open if you have passed 5 rooms overall, so you can go back there to get into it. And then there's certain different like areas, like there's dark levels where you can't see a thing,
of course,
which I love. And there's sort of different types of discs. There's all sorts of different things going on in the different rooms. And it's one of them nice little indie titles where some people will hate this game. If you don't like difficult, challenging games where you'll fail over and over and over and have to keep retrying, you will hate this game.
I loved it though.
I perfectly
love this one.
I perfectly love this one. There we go. That's a good phrase, isn't it?
Yes.
But I love these sorts of games. I mean, but then again, I've beaten Cuphead.
You have.
There you go, I've mentioned it.
I loved it and I was so addicted. After like 2 minutes in, I was like, I need to do this again. It
grabs you, and the fact that the targets for how far we've gotten in it, the targets are so like, 'cause it's like 10 seconds, 20 seconds, something like that.
Yeah,
it's doable.
Yeah.
even if you're failing over and over again, it's so doable.
You get so close and you're like,
it's not like you got to do it for 5 minutes, and then if you fail, you're like, I don't want to go for that.
And you
again.
have different abilities as well.
Yes, like you can choose to dodge, and you can only have one ability equipped at a time. One to dodge, one to sort of make you invisible, things like that. And it's just, I really like this game. I do want to stream it. Keep an eye out. Let me know in the comments if you want me to stream this one on our Game or Pass series. Okay, next one, and now this is a big one, kind of like your Assassin's Creed. Doom Eternal. Now, all the Doom games are on Game Pass because Bethesda, Microsoft own them now. Sure. So, I wanted to play the newer Doom games. It came to Switch for like 50 quid. The 20, the earlier one. When they rebooted it.
I can't remember.
2017, I think, or 2016.
Okay.
That one. And I didn't buy it because it was on the Switch for like 40, 50 quid. But at that point, the PS4 version was like £15. But then again, if you buy a physical game on the PS4, it installs on the hard drive, and I didn't have room on there.
Yeah.
But eventually I bought it on PS4 because I'm like, because it never seems to go down in price on the Switch unless it was on an eShop sale, but I didn't want to have it digital.
Yeah.
And obviously the Switch, one of them examples of the Switch is the lesser version of the game. Although I hear it does run actually really well. Like, I think it's Panic Button, the company that do it, and they do good jobs with Switch ports. But still, and I really enjoyed Doom on PS4. So Doom Eternal was one that came out digital only on the Switch, and it was like a big file size, and I was like, but then I thought, it's on Game Pass, I might as well play it on there. And I've gotten back into it recently. I absolutely love this game. It's amazing. It's like, again, one of those, you'll keep dying, you'll keep retrying, one of those sorts of games in each room. And I'm not joking, there have been rooms in this game where I've spent so long on them with these really difficult battles, mastering what I know where enemies are going to come from, I know what ways to take them out quicker. I've been times where I've cleared a room and I've just had to put the controller down and take a breathe. Honestly, like, I just need to have a little rest after when all I've been doing is sitting there. Like,
physically exhausting.
Yeah. So I'm really liking Doom Eternal.
Nice.
Okay, next game.
So we streamed this one. It was Firewatch.
Yes, we played through the entire game in one stream.
We did indeed.
Was that like 3 or 4 hours or something like that?
I think it was like, under 3, because I remember we were like...
Sub 3. Although we didn't 100% it, but we got to the credits, so it counts as beaten.
Yes. 1 second, the cat's scratching.
So this is one that we saw the trailer for it on the Game Pass thing. It kind of looked like a... Because we wanted to do a stream where
like survival horror or thriller or something like that.
We wanted to do a story-based game as a stream. One that wasn't too long to beat. Because, my God, guys, How Long to Beat, that website, that is so good to scout out like what games are good for streaming if we've not played the game before. Yeah. Although, obviously, that's just...
an estimation.
Sort of like, I think people submit how long it took them to beat a game, and it's just the average... time, so obviously it's different for everyone, but if you go on How Long to Beat and it says 2 or 3 hours, realistically you could do that in one stream without it being 2. And this was that one. So it starts off all text, doesn't it?
It does,
telling a story, and you make choices to see how the story went. Like this, the guy you play as, his backstory,
and it's about his wife, and she's got Alzheimer's, I think, or
that was it,
early onset dementia or something like that. And he's gone in to do this job as the Firewatch in the... I think is it in Colorado?
I can't remember the location. Was it in Canada?
I'm not sure. But anyway, it's in the mountains.
Like in a national park?
In a national park.
Place.
And you're just looking out for fires and obviously, trying to keep it safe. And you build up this relationship with the person on the other end of the walkie-talkie, which is like your manager. And... there's a lot of things that happen in it that you're like, oh my God, it's scary. And you get like hit around the head at one point, and
and you're sort of like, you're finding clues in places, and it is very like, the game sort of points you in the right direction to go, sort of as you go along. But it is one of them, you're in it for the mystery, aren't you?
You are.
And what's going on.
But I was very frightened. Like, it's very frightening.
Yeah, and so check out our stream if you want to see the whole game. And if you have Game Pass, give this a go. Say it's a couple of hours of your time.
Yeah.
And of good mystery.
It is indeed. What I will say is that the resolution of the mystery was, it didn't really, I don't know, satisfy me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and also I don't know if that's because during the game as well you make choices.
Yeah.
I don't know how much the choices affect the ending. Yeah, so maybe there's a better ending.
Possibly.
If you made different choices, but we're not going to play for it again. So we can look it up online, can't we?
Well, we know what's going to happen.
Yes. Okay, so the next one is one that I remember coming out on Switch and being interested in. So again, I've saved a bit of money here by finding it on Game Pass.
Definitely.
It's called Gorogoa.
It's like a puzzle.
Yeah. Now this one it's kind of like a tile-based puzzle game.
Say, yeah.
But it kind of looks simplistic at first because it's just 4 tiles and you swap them around. But you have to sort of match them together to progress the story within them. So you can make one character move from one panel to the next. And
you can like zoom out of that panel or like zoom into that panel, and it's very complicated.
Yeah, like you have to you got your character in one panel and then on the other 3 you've got to really explore them and find out which location within those panels can match what that character's in right now. And there's quite a lot going on with it.
It is. And I think we had to take a little break from it because we were playing it for like an good hour, and we were just not getting anywhere, and it was frustrating, which is good.
Yeah, we finished. We've done 4 chapters now, and there are 6 overall.
Yeah.
So we are like 2/3 of the way through the game now.
But it can be agitating and long periods of play.
Yes, definitely. Okay, so next one is one it's not actually a finished game. It's a demo, preview thing. Yeah, it's called Grounded, which is aesthetically amazing.
It's like a survival...
Yeah, first person...
Action... Yeah.
Survival game.
Is it action? I guess so.
There's action. You're fighting bugs. Because it's like a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids style setting.
Yes, which I love. I love big environments. So do you.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And we didn't play this one a whole lot.
We didn't, but what we saw of it was nice.
Yeah, it's like because I think we got to a point where it's kind of like with Zombie U, where if you die, your supplies get dropped, and then when you come back and you go to fight, you have to go back to where you died to get your backpack. But we got our backpack was dropped in this place where there's all this toxic gas,
poison area.
So we can't actually get in, and it was kind of dark in that area as well.
Yeah.
So it was like,
and it was after an hour of collecting loads of materials. So it was like, oh gosh. I mean, I don't mind starting it again and maybe avoiding that, but it's quite cool. And you analyse stuff, and it goes in your I don't know, encyclopedia.
Kind of reminds me of Pikmin. That did.
Yeah, because it had made up names for stuff, didn't it? I think so, anyway.
Yeah.
But it was cool. I'm excited to see more of it, actually, and see what they're going to do with it. Is it going to be, online team-based? The dog.
Yeah, there's a dog barking. He's been doing it for a while now.
There we go. So, I wonder, is it going to be, online team-based, or who knows? I don't
know, but, yeah.
Are you going to build, settlements with it? Are you going to be able to?
Yeah.
Small settlements.
So I'm wondering, because it's saying it's a preview, I don't know, does this mean the actual finished game will come to Game Pass, or is it just if you've got Game Pass you can play an early build of it? I don't know if that's what the deal is or not.
Many questions.
But it's looking promising anyway. Okay, so next game is called I Am Fish.
Oh my gosh. We played I Am Bread on PlayStation.
Yes.
And that is a frustrating game.
But intentionally so. It's got terrible controls, but that's the whole point of it.
So in this one, you can control 4 different fish, but the story is the goldfish escapes to the sea, but then he goes back into into a house because he gets picked up from the sea, and there's all these different bits involved.
Yeah.
In the journey of this goldfish and the other fish.
And they're all the goldfish bowls are actually balls.
Yes.
So they can roll around in it.
Except when you get put into a bottle. Oh my giddy.
And then the controls there are awful, but that's the intention.
Addictive, but awful.
And so this game, I mean, I think I speak for both of us when I say we love this game and we hate it at the same time.
Love and hate.
It's one that I think would have been nice to stream if it controlled better.
I mean, the thing is, it's meant to be rubbish.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's meant to be hard control, so I think it would be a frustrating stream to watch us fail the same.
It's very, very hard to hold my tongue.
Yeah, and it's just, it's really, but visually it looks amazing.
It's awesome, and they've got voice acting in it, and like the characters, the people in it you see,
and the environments, like you go like rolling out of a house window, and then maybe a bowl of smash, but you fall into a swimming pool, and then you can find like you said, a bottle, so fill that with water and roll away, and it's really nice like journey that you have.
It is,
but it is just really hard to control intentionally.
And there's different like pathways you can take, and some of them are really tricky, but you get a faster time if you can manage it.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
But we will complete that, especially because you get the different, as you said, after you've got the goldfish back to the sea,
you've got like the puffer fish
and
flying fish.
And they have the
piranha. There we go. That was a cool one, actually.
Yeah, and they have their different abilities. Mm-hmm. Like the piranha can bite stuff, and
flying fish, obviously flying for a short amount of time.
Yeah, and their levels. So next one again, and now this is another good one to find on Game Pass.
Yes, yeah.
Life is Strange: True Colours.
Yeah. So did this come out last year? Or?
It did, yes. And I don't actually know when this originally came out. It came out on the Switch last year, and it was like £25.
Yeah.
So you were like, you'll wait for a sale on that.
Yeah.
And then I was like, hey, it's on Game Pass.
And I played the original Life is Strange, and I really liked them. And I played this one too, and it's okay. It's not bad. I mean, it looks amazing. What I will say is that the thing that I really, really enjoyed is that at one point you actually, what's the word? You participate in a LARP, live action roleplay. I didn't
actually see that
Oh
bit.
My goodness me, it was awesome. I really enjoyed it. The story is like super engaging, and obviously your choices make a difference. And some of them I was like really nervous about, like at the very start. I suppose it's not really going to spoil it if I say that at the very start, but your brother's, I don't know, son-in-law, I guess.
Brother's girlfriend's son.
Oh, brother's girlfriend's son. Wait, stepson, isn't it, when you're married? Yeah.
Are they married?
No, they're not married.
So
sort of stepson.
Potential stepson.
Potential stepson. Your brother's potential stepson, he tells you that he's found a place in the caves or the mines that he's going to go explore. And you have the choice whether you tell your brother that or not. So I did. And I thought that's going to make a whole world of difference to the story. Because you also have like this thing on your phone where it's like there's going to be, explosions at the mines tonight. It's like an alert that comes up, and I recognised that, and I was like, oh my gosh, the boy's going to go there to explore. So I told your brother to try and combat that, and I thought that's going to make a world of difference. It did not make any difference. That kid still went and explored the mines even though he'd been told not to.
It's one of those where you kind of like, you have these make your choice games, and sometimes, unless you play through it multiple times, I do wonder how much of a difference does your choice make.
I mean, some of them
it'll change dialogue and things like that. Story wise, how much difference would it still end the same?
Yeah.
Like, the one thing I really liked about this as well, this more of a personal thing, is again near the beginning you're in the apartment, which is above a pub where your brother works, and he's sort of swung you a job there. Yeah. And so you go downstairs and you're just in the bar area, and there's not many people in there, but then the guy behind the bar says, do you want to try out your first shift? And she goes around and talks to people, and because I grew up in a small town where like everyone knows everyone, and it's the fact that she was sort of meeting these people, and like, but the bartender knew who they all were, and they were sort of telling her things about the town. Oh yeah, I know who that is, and I'm like, that's just I'm very familiar with that sort of atmosphere.
Really?
Where like you go into a pub, kind of like where I grew up. I'd go up the Legion, and I'd know everyone who was in there, that's the sort of so that just
that reminded you of it.
Reminded me of that, yeah. So I think they captured that sort of environment well. Yeah. Is what I'm getting at.
Definitely, and the visually amazing, and the story. I mean, it is quite gripping and sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, that LARP. I mean, yeah, of course.
The LARP. I didn't. The
see LARP, the LARP is so fun, honestly.
Was it like in Role Models?
No, I'd say it was better. I mean, because they
weren't dressed as Kiss.
I mean, it was like, it kind of was like RPG at one point, because you were like throwing attacks and then they were, deflecting attacks, and you were using magic, and it was just so good. So good.
One thing that frustrated me when watching you play this at the beginning, you're in the record store.
Yeah.
And you want to get something, but there's a cat sitting on top of it.
Yeah.
So you were exploring for ages trying to find where the cat toy was, because that's the only thing that can get the cat away.
Yeah.
In real life, I would have just gone...
Pick up the cat.
Yeah, just pick the cat up.
I know it was hissing at you, but like...
Still, I would...
It's fine.
What's it going to do?
Exactly.
Like, most likely, if you go to sort of put your hand on it, it would run away.
Exactly.
Like, that frustrated me. Okay, so Pac-Man Museum is a recent release.
Yes.
That is Pac-Man games.
Yes.
Moving on. No, so this one you control yourself in the arcade and trying to find the machines where the different games are. And you have given like 400 or 500 credits, and you have to pay a credit to play a game. And you can also use these credits to get toys out of one of them twisty machines.
No way. Are they like collectibles?
Yeah.
Is it like in Kirby?
Yeah, like that.
That's so exciting.
So I'm wondering what happens if you run out of credits. Can you just not play those games anymore?
There must be a free one.
There was one, but it was... Because there's quite a lot of different Pac-Man. You have Pac-Man, Pac-Land, which is the platformer one. There's like this 3D ball control one, like trackball style one, and there's so many different variants of Pac-Man in there. Great collection. Again, it's like... I think it's on Switch as well, and it's one of them where I'm like, it's nice that I've got to play it essentially for free, but at the same time it would have been nice to play it handheld.
Yeah.
So if you like Pac-Man, then Pac-Man Museum, give it a download.
Definitely.
Okay, next one is called Paparazzi.
And we streamed this one.
We streamed it the entire, not 100%ed it, but we streamed it up to the credits.
We did.
What is Paparazzi?
Well, it's a game where you're taking pictures of dogs and you're uploading them to, what was it, Pupstagram or so? I don't know.
It's like,
maybe I just made that up. But yeah, something like that. And oh my gosh, I had a lot of fun with it. And like the day after, in the morning, I played so much more of it to get the collecting everything, nice. And I really like it.
Yeah, and I think people watching us stream this had a lot of fun with it as well. It's the different it's kind of like Pokemon Snap, but you can walk around freely.
Yeah,
and there's so much like zaniness going on, like, and there's sort of like missions, weren't there? Like get a photo of a dog on a bike and things like that. And there was like a Tony Hawk dog, wasn't there? I can't remember what the name of it was.
Bork? No, was it Tony Bork?
If they named it was like a celebrity skateboarder, wasn't it? In this, and he was just going up the half pipe, and it was quite a lot of stuff like that
and
going on.
Like a craziness at the top,
and you could get different filters and things like that for your camera, and you unlock different areas like dawn. Day, dusk and night sort of variants of them, and different things happened at different times of day. And they had like the human characters that looked really weird. And it was kind of like this is a world dominated by dogs and humans are the animals sort of thing.
It's true.
It was
fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, that game. I highly recommend that one.
Oh yeah, and you can dress them up as well to get more points, I guess, or more likes. And
it says you have this one troll person on your Instagram, don't you? Who just seems to hate everything you put up there. Like, you'll take a photo of a dog, but there might be another dog like way in the background, and then they're saying,
Who's in focus in this?
I'm confused by this photo. Which dog is the focus?
Yeah.
Even though it's obvious which one's the focus, but just because there's more than... But
then you get a focus lens, and that eliminates that.
But other people want to see more than one dog in a photo. Yeah. So it's kind of like, what do you guys want?
What is wrong?
So that's Bubba Ratty. I don't know if this is on the Switch or not. But I think Switch audience would fall in love with this game. I
think so. Handheld would be really good.
Yeah, especially if they put in gyro controls for aiming the camera.
That would be
That'd actually work really well. Okay, so this is the main game that made me want an Xbox One, and that is Rare Replay. I didn't get an Xbox One in the end. I went with the PS4 because I like Uncharted, and so I remember when I first got the Xbox Series S, and I immediately subscribed to Game Pass and downloaded a bunch of things, and Rare Replay being one of them. And I remember I was at work the next morning. I hadn't played Rare Replay yet, and I was on the phone to you when I was walking around, and I said to you, you can try out Conker's Bad Fur Day if you want. And I remember you had loaded up Rare Replay, and you were saying to me, oh my god, there's so much going on right now, so much because when you load up Rare Replay, there's a song, like it's like a theatre, and they have like the characters on there doing this song, and I see what you mean when I saw that.
It was a bit manic.
Yeah, so there's 30 games on here from Rare's history, pretty much everything but the Donkey Kong games. It's got the Banjo games. Perfect Dark, I think, is the one I've played the most.
You have, yeah.
Although we did stream... No, we streamed Banjo when it came to the Switch.
We did, yeah.
Yeah. So, the reason I don't play Banjo much on there is because I've got it on the Switch now. But one thing I did also play a lot, it's like I said, Perfect Dark is brilliant on there because it gives you the dual analogues, it's updated it to a modern controller.
Yeah.
The Jet Force Gemini, though...
Yes, I remember you showing me that.
The problem with Jet Force Gemini, and why it would work better on the N64 app on the Switch with the N64 controller, is because dual analog wasn't a thing back then. It's a single stick shooter where you have to aim to hold a button to aim your reticle. The C buttons were used for strafing left and right, which is fine to do with the right analog stick.
Yeah.
But C up was your jump button, and C down was the crouch. Now, on the N64 controller, that works well because you're pushing a button to jump still. But on the Xbox, you're flicking that right stick up to do that. So, at least on if this came to the Switch's N64 app, you could at least map the C up button to the Y button or something to jump.
Yeah.
So that would eliminate that. So there is that. But overall, it's 30 games from Rare's history. I've always wanted this to come to the Switch, and it never has. But now the N64 Rare games could possibly come to Switch. Now Banjo has. I'm not, and I've got Rare Replay on the Xbox. I'm not fussed about it coming to Switch anymore.
Fair enough.
So I will shut up about that.
No.
So next one is
Sea of Solitude. We actually played this last night.
Yes.
Well, early this morning, I guess.
Yeah, we started. It was around midnight.
And I fell asleep.
Sophie fell asleep playing this game.
I was very tired. Many apologies.
We got over halfway through it.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, again, I looked on how long to be. It's 12 chapters. We've gotten up to chapter 8. So what is this game?
It's a game... Well, it's sort of like exploration, sort of puzzle element, because you're navigating the area to go get these orbs, or defeat the corruption or absorb the corruption.
It feels a bit like Uncharted, so exploration bits where you're kind of guided, and there's monsters in the water. There is. So you got to stay in your boat or on the land.
Yeah, and I feel like it's not just the water; it's in the air as well, and like in the buildings. But these are like. I mean, there was a warning at the start that said, this contains sensitive issues and stuff.
Yes.
So, I think these are like your own demons, really.
Yeah, inner demons. Because two of the monsters represented this character's parents.
Yeah, and your sibling, I'm guessing.
And there was someone being bullied at school as well, so it's sort of touching on that.
That was horrifying.
Yeah.
I've never been so frightened of something like that. I mean, Shyamalan's film The Visit, when the grandma's walking around on the floor.
Yeah.
Oh, horrible, hate it.
Yeah.
There was this one with the horrible boy spirits,
Yeah,
from
started
the school,
doing
started
that.
doing it, and it just gave me horrible flashbacks of that.
When you were going through that area, and then all these arms came out of the floor as
and
well.
Just grabbed you.
Yeah.
And it made me think of Little Nightmares in that sense.
Yes, as well. And I was racking my brains, wasn't I?
Yeah.
There's bits where you're going in the water, like, to avoid and getting out just before the monster gets you.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of a very specific game. And in the stream, we had, like, I think it was Water Music again, was making suggestions as to... And it was Banjo-Kazooie I was thinking of when in Treasure Trove Cove, where you go in the water and the shark tries to get you.
Oh my gosh.
And you have to jump out just in time. That's what it was reminding me of. But yeah, again, another one that apparently you can beat it in 3 hours, just the story.
Yeah.
But to go for 100%, it's like 5 hours. So it's one of them where it's one I'm glad it's on Game Pass and play it that way.
Oh yeah, and there's collectibles, so you collect bottles and you shoot seagulls. And it looks visually like amazing, and I love the character design. And
the game was like throwing achievements at you left, right, and centre. It was like,
thank you.
You moved forward a bit. Here's 90 gamer points.
It's quite nice actually to be appreciated for playing a game.
Nice. Okay, the next game is Sniper Elite 5, which was a very recent release, came day and date on Game Pass, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I heard someone say that apparently they'd heard this game is awful and not very good. I looked at reviews and it seems like it had some issues at launch, because I didn't play this straight away, but have been patched since. Because when I played it, the game is awesome. I don't know what people are talking about. It is just another Sniper Elite game. You got these really... So, in Sniper Elite 3, you had... the levels were very sort of mission-based.
Yeah. Like,
you had this mission to do. You had this fairly large level to explore and get there. But it was kind of like you knew where you were going, and they were quite... You did the mission, got out the level. Sniper Elite 4 made it more open. The levels were bigger. But this one... There's 10 levels in this game.
Mm-hmm.
They are huge.
Massive.
Absolutely huge. They're like big, like you got 10 big open worlds basically. You got your missions and side missions to find in each level. And I'm just exploring them. I'm having fun finding new areas, and there's some like enemy soldiers in different areas, and you're stealthing your way around, which I'm good at stealth, as you know.
You're amazing at stealth.
You hide in the flowers and they can't see you. Those usual game tropes. You have, like, obviously you get your sniper rifle. You do the shots. It does, like, the X-ray of the bullet going through their brain and things that. But one thing I got confused by, and I don't know if I understand this still, is it came up saying...
yes, I just remembered. Carry on.
I think it was called Axis Invasion or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't fully understand this, but what I'm guessing is some other player of this game just invaded my play session of this game, and so while you're trying to play the game normally single player, there is someone online trying to hunt you down. And I think I got killed by them while I was trying to do a mission. And I've no idea why that happened. I mean, I get it.
It's hysterical.
I think it's something you do opt in.
Yeah.
Because if you just play it offline if you don't like that.
Yeah.
But it's just weird that someone just invaded my game. Like, imagine you're playing, like, Breath of the Wild or something. And then some other player from another Switch just runs in and whacks you with their sword, like...
I think it's hysterical.
Yeah. But, yeah, I'm really enjoying Sniper Elite 5.
It's daunting, though, like the environments and stuff. Oh, my gosh. It's, because we watched Inglourious Bastards.
ERDs, we can say. Yeah. Bastards. Yeah. Which is a World War II setting as well.
Yeah. And, it's a good movie, but it's quite savage in the way it depicts being, the violence things. And stuff.
Yeah, and this is quite violent as well.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, I'm still on the second mission on it, but I'm really having a lot of fun with this game.
Oh, that's good.
I'm taking my time with it. Okay, so another game that I was actually really excited for, it's called Tunic, which is sort of like a top-down isometric Legend of Zelda style game.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really excited to play this. When I started playing it, I hated it. but the more I played it, the more I got used to it. And
yeah, I was literally just going to say, I think it needs, like, it's not something you can just sit for a little time and then play. It's something you've got to give time to it.
Because the thing is,
especially with, like, the, you know, the symbols, the written thing.
Because you basically have to unlock the instruction book.
Yeah.
Like, as you find different areas, it will, like, fill out your instruction book to tell you different things. And a lot of it's, like, not in English, or, like, it's I don't know if it's a real language. Symbols.
I don't know, actually.
It's meant to represent, like, an old school NES instruction book. But what's on that instruction book is enough for you to work out what you're meant to do next.
Yeah.
But you really have to sort of work it out yourself. And when I sort of got into the rhythm of that, I started enjoying it more. And I mean, the gameplay itself is hard enough as it is. I kept dying and then having to go back to places. But at the same time, though, I've been away from the game for so long now that if I went back into it, I don't know if I would be able to remember what I was doing or how to play it.
Back.
I think I'd have to start it again now. So that is it's not really an accessible game, which is by design. And when it twigs and you're actually working things out, it's really good. But it's not one you can jump back into, I think.
Definitely. I think it would be rewarding when you do, you know, play all through it.
Yeah, maybe I should stream it. That would motivate me to
definitely
carry on. And the final game we're going to talk about Game Pass wise,
12 Minutes.
So this is one that I remember Cody from Indie Game Pulse telling us about this last year as one of his games he was looking forward to.
It's got some big names in.
Yeah, like James McAvoy, Daisy Ridley and Willem Dafoe are the three characters. So this is a top-down game. You play as, like, none of the characters are named.
No.
They're just called man, wife and
cop.
So you go home, you have your dinner or your pudding with your wife, and then
we don't really want to spoil anything, but
then this cop comes in and kills you, or kills her, depending who answers the door, and then it restarts the level again, the evening. And it's like a 12-minute playthrough, or until you die or something like that. And you can do different things, and then what you learnt in that previous time loop, yes, that unlocks more options for you to do now. So you could sort of question the wife about something you learnt in the previous time loop, but that option's not there if you're starting a new game. And we don't really want to say anything. It kind of remind me of something like Source Code or something like that, where you're finding out new things just by going to different things or playing something differently, finding out new information. It's really, really hard to talk about this game without spoiling anything. But
it's interesting, but it can be frustrating because you're seeing a lot of the same thing over and over again. Yeah,
and like there's sometimes we'll work out, oh, here's what you have to do here. And admittedly, we did use a guide towards the end because it was getting a bit frustrating. Not the whole because we couldn't work it out, but because we needed to have things play out a certain way in order to give you an option for us to try something different. But we were having to sit through the exact same dialogue. And like if you're trying to skip the dialogue quickly, your wife will go, "Oh, okay, rude," and then she won't want to do what you need her to do.
To you or,
So you have to sit through all the same dialogue, and that's where we got a bit frustrated with it.
And there's one, like, obviously trying not to give too much away, but there's one thing where we had looked at the guide and we were like, yeah, that's exactly what we need to do.
Yeah.
And we'd given, we were showing a photograph to the cop.
Yes.
And I remember he was like, "I don't believe you," and then he killed you basically. But I was like, for God's sake, after all of that, just
and it turns out there was one thing we did wrong.
Yeah, we needed to just do one more thing.
Yeah, and but then we had to sit through that dialogue again. And the ending was very confusing, I found.
Yeah, same.
I think there's multiple endings.
There is.
But the one we chose was confusing.
It is.
Confusing AF.
And weird. Yes. And weird AF too.
Yes.
And then, like, at the end, I'm trying not to spoil anything, but, has this already happened or is it going to happen? Have you gone back in time? Or you just don't know. But anyway.
That's that.
That's that.
So those are the sort of like the games we've been playing and enjoying on Game Pass. So I'm talking about really the benefits of Game Pass here. But there's one benefit I want to point out before we move on to viewer questions is... Obviously, we talked about games like 12 Minutes, paparazzi games we could discover through Game Pass and like enjoy our time with. But another way Game Pass has saved me money is sometimes a game comes out, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to talk specifically about Skatebird,
yes,
which I really liked the look of before, even though it kind of looked flawed and stuff. But it came to Game Pass and I played it and I just did not like it at all.
No, I swear.
And... So that saved me money, however much it cost on the Switch, because I would have bought that on the Switch otherwise, so that's the way Game Pass has saved me money. And also some games that I know are good, there's one specifically called Sable, which I know Cody was another one.
Yes, yeah.
And I played it, I couldn't get into it, I didn't think it was a bad game.
It looked nice though.
It looked nice, and I can
imagine it's exciting for other people.
Yeah, it's one of them, it's just not for me, so again... I saved money there.
100%.
So, yeah, that's why I like Game Pass now.
Yeah.
Ask me a couple of months ago, I would have told you I hated Game Pass, but you specifically
I really like it.
has helped me get into it more, especially for us streaming it.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's move on to viewer questions.
Cool.
Okay, Water Music 34 asks a few questions. What sort of 3D design projects did you work on, Sophie? And where do you get your art ideas from?
Oh, okay. So, I used to do archaeology and we did geophysical surveys in the field. And that was like looking for archaeological sites for developers. So, we used CAD to pop the data that we collected onto the mapping data. So in that terms it would have been 3D design, not design, but 3D mapping data, because they use all like positional data so they can, get levels and stuff. But what I was using it for was very much 2D, and that's why I like maps so much.
Oh yeah, you do like maps, don't you?
Yes.
Okay, where'd you get your art ideas from?
I like cute things, so I go for cute things.
I mean, frogs is your thing right now.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it'll just come to me. Sometimes it's like so I watched a lot of Bridgerton recently, and
yes.
Yeah, I think like the costume design in that is just fantastic, and I actually went and got a book on like Regency style clothing, and it obviously it differs quite a bit, because they wouldn't have had quite as much skin showing, I guess. But yeah, so it's just like marrying those two things together, and like animals and clothes, and I love Sylvanian families. I think what are they called, calico critters in America.
Yeah.
And I've always loved them, and to have like animals in clothing. In that way, in
the Willows.
Victorian clothing as well.
Beatrix Potter.
Yeah. And just, especially Beatrix Potter. We were talking about The Tale of Mr. Todd, it's my favourite. But yeah, that's where I get my ideas, really. And sometimes from other people, sometimes people say stuff, you said sand squid, that makes me think of, a little squid in the sand.
Yeah.
It's kind of like water, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like
it's very fluid.
There's actually a shark movie, obviously a Sharknado style, called Sand Sharks, where the sharks are in the sand attacking people. Like they're jumping out of it like they're in water.
And I love marine life. I'm obsessed with marine life. So
yes,
yeah,
nice. Good answer. Those questions were directed at you specifically, so I will not answer that. Okay, so this one's for both of us, I think. Again, from Water Music. What is the funniest or your favourite comedy, film, show, whatever? So we'll answer both of those, film and show. Okay,
film. Oh, that's a hard one. The one that's jumping to my mind right now, I don't know why, is Dinner for Schmucks.
Oh, that's the funny one.
And there's the one bit where the lady, she's like channeling the spirits of dead animals, and she gets a lobster in front of her, and she's like, "The water is boiling!" And I just, every time it makes me think, like, sometimes I'll be doing something completely different, and that quote will come to my head, and it just makes me smile. After you, Dave?
For me, well, I'll go to show first. My funniest favourite comedy is The Simpsons.
Yes, yeah.
We always quote The Simpsons.
So quotable.
But But for film, I won't say Simpsons movie, although I do really like the Simpsons movie. Thinking of like the funniest one. I mean, I'd probably go with the South Park movie.
Yes.
Because I would put South Park as one of the funniest shows as well, but Simpsons I've been watching for longer.
Yeah.
And but then one not based on a TV show, I think Hot Fuzz is one of the best comedies, one of the cleverest ones.
Definitely.
There's Shrek 2, isn't there?
Oh, yeah.
And the first Shrek as well.
I love Shrek.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of comedies and the question of whatever, I'm guessing games.
Oh, yeah.
I think Conker's Bad Fur Day, I think, is the funniest
very
comedy game. Yeah, so that's that one.
Oh, Parks and Rec.
That's a really good, that's a binge watch.
I love that show, and it's quotable, and it's just so good.
Yeah, I'd be doing a disservice as well if I didn't mention Friends.
Yeah.
Because, like I've said, half of what I say in day-to-day life is a quote from either Simpsons, Friends, or South Park.
Yeah.
So I quote those three shows all the time. So let's pivot on to the next question. If you could get £1 every time anyone said a certain noun, what noun would you want it to be? So for anyone who might not know, a noun is like an object.
£1.
See, I would go for one that people wouldn't say all the time, but say it enough to something like chair.
Yeah, that came to my mind first, but I don't know. What do I say a lot at work?
There's someone that anyone said, not just you.
That anyone said?
Yeah, so anyone around the world uses... So would you go for a noun in, like, what's the most commonly spoken language in the world?
Oh.
So you could go for something where there's more people speaking that language. So,
yeah, that's true.
I mean, enough people talk English, so I'll probably just say an English word.
I'd go for chair.
Yeah, chairs. I think
or table.
Chair or table, yeah.
I don't know.
Because they're not said all the time that you wouldn't be overrun by money, but it's said enough that you could make quite a lot of money each day.
That's hard. How about you, Charlie?
Meow, I think is his answer, yeah. Okay, so we've got a couple of questions from Charlie, now you've said Charlie. Yeah. First one is, if you could have any game made into a film, which one would it be, and what role would Tom Hanks play?
Oh my goodness, that's going to be a hard one to...
Yeah, because the thing is, there's a lot of games that could make great films.
Yeah.
But I don't have faith in Hollywood to make it into a good film. Because my answer there, without really going into spoilers... I've said this for a while. When the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie was announced, I want Sonic Adventure 2 to be made into a film.
Yeah. And
it looks like that's where they're going with the next Sonic film. But my problem with it is, as much as I love the Sonic movies, with Sonic the Hedgehog 2, they did the whole Knuckles, Robotnik, and that chasing the Chaos Emeralds, which is the basic early Sonic game story.
Yeah.
And they did that really well, I thought. But the problem is, you have these human characters, like James Marsden and all that, and
they get in the way.
Yeah, Sonic and Tails are going on this adventure, and it's all great and all that, but you keep cutting back to James Marsden at this going to this wedding, and he's like, "Oh, I'm not getting on with my in-laws. Derpty derpty derp." Like, "Oh, I'm trying to play volleyball with them, but I'm falling over. Derpty derpty derp." And it's like, what are you doing? Why are we watching this? Why are we... And then there's this really ridiculous, like, action scene of a woman on a golf buggy, which just grinds the film to a halt, which it was funny, but it's not what you come to see, you know? And I'm worried that if they do Sonic Adventure 2 as an adaptation, you got, like, you know, Robotnik and with Shadow and Rouge, and they're going to, like, into space and all that, like in Sonic Adventure 2. It's a really epic story, would make a great film. But what if James Marsden and his partner have a baby in this one? And they're like, "Oh my god, we're trying to stop Shadow." Like,
it'd be like Baby's Day Out.
Yeah. Oh, like, my worry is they do like the scene where they go on that island and it's about to explode and they're running off the island, or they're launching up into space, like in the game. And it's like, oh, this action's going on, then suddenly cut back to James Marsden at home going, I don't know how to change a diaper. Derpty derpty derp. Like, what is going on? I bet you anything, if a baby's involved in this, someone's going to get weed in the face.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And I'm like, what are you doing? So yeah, Sonic Adventure 2 is my answer. Tom Hanks should play Rouge the Bat. Okay, so there we go.
Okay.
Oh wait, no. The American president is a character in Sonic Adventure 2. Briefly, but he's there. Tom Hanks should play the president. There we go.
So for my one, that's... To be honest, I'm struggling with that one because I immediately want to say Just Cause, but
yeah,
I don't know how they're going to do that, and who would Tom Hanks be? He can't be Rico Rodriguez.
I remember when Glenn was over here, and he spoke the truth, didn't he? When we were talking about who could play Rico Rodriguez, and he just said, they'd just cast Chris Pratt in the role.
Oh no.
And I'm like, but they would, wouldn't they?
Yeah, but they can't.
Like,
they really can't.
Or Tom Holland or someone like that.
It can't happen. No. It can't happen.
I'd rather Tom Hanks played him.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, yeah, that was my answer.
Just Cause could make a good film. But
I don't know what the story would be. I mean, there's a little bit of a story in 3, but
on that topic, it was announced yesterday they're making a Duke Nukem movie.
Oh, I see.
Whereas, like Duke Nukem was sort of intended as like a parody of that 80s action hero, like Arnie sort of over the top thing. But I'm like, and I'm calling it now. The Rock or John Cena are going to play him,
or Batista.
Maybe Batista. It's going to be a wrestler playing him, which is not a bad choice, but it's just kind of predictable, isn't it? Okay, next question.
What has been your favourite YouTube video to make, and what's your least favourite? Again, hard question. That requires thinking.
Well, if you're talking about the creation process or enjoying the final product, if it was enjoying the final product, I quite liked our Waluigi video. I really like how that turned out, especially because we got a bunch of other YouTubers to pitch in a happy birthday message to Waluigi.
I think the music one we did.
Oh, the indie
awesome.
Music, yeah.
I really liked that one, and because it highlighted some of my favourite ones. And like, wasn't it the other day I was like, what is that song that I'm singing in my head? And it was like from one of those games.
And also, if you're talking about the creation process, these videos, they're just so easy to edit. Mm-hmm. So there we go.
Fair enough.
And least favourite, I'm going to say some of the reviews I've done, because some reviews, it's why I've stopped doing reviews. Not just the games being bad necessarily,
well, not
but
bad. It's more
forgettable.
Or
just
the process, like the time it takes to put into them, which they deserve.
Yeah, but then sometimes the games are just kind of underwhelming, and I'm not going to name any specific ones. So see the reviews for more, but it's kind of like, and it just feels like I'd sort of been wasting my time playing these games, and I ended up saying pretty much the same things in each review. And
it's like sad as well, because you want to be so diplomatic to that game. Yeah. Especially when it's something that you feel like you could enjoy based on, like, face value. Yeah. I mean, that farming game that had the zombie element, I guess, of it.
Yes.
It was so much suited to PC. It should have just been a PC game, because it was like isometric. The
Switch port wasn't good.
It was really tricky to, navigate with the Switch. But I reckon, like, on PC, it would have been really good. Yeah. Anyway.
So, Fatman and Pop says, what is your favourite type of pizza?
Oh, that's so hard. I love Hawaiian, and I know everyone says pineapple on pizza. I love pineapple on pizza, so...
I think that's more of a meme. I don't think people are generally angry. I mean, people are obviously... I mean, I don't like pineapple on pizza myself, but I'm not going to hate on people that do.
No.
I think really it's more of a meme of people not hating it that much.
Love pepperoni. And I like spicy pizza too.
Nice.
Yeah.
For me, it's chicken barbecue.
Yep.
There we go. And final question. This will likely be answered immediately. It says David, Sunset Arkan. Mm-hmm. This will likely be answered immediately, but we're saving it till last. But is her name really spelt Sophje? Have I been misspelling her name this entire time?
Yes, indeed. My name is actually Sopji.
Sophie, yes. So just in the community post where I asked for your questions, I misspelt Sophie's name to answer that. So anyway, that's the end of this podcast.
Yes.
Yay, number 5 done.
Hooray.
Have you enjoyed yourself, Sophie?
I have.
Cool, me too. Right, so thank you so much for watching, everyone. Make sure you subscribe for live stream fun to happen in the future.
Goodness.
Yes, and a lot of Game Pass games will be streaming, no doubt.
Definitely.
Right, so let us know in the comments what your favourite games you've discovered on Game Pass. Any predictions you have for a possible Nintendo Direct.
Yes.
So thank you for watching, everyone. See you in the next one.
Goodbye.